We have another opportunity here to go deeper, to go beyond the ego and come home. We literally have the potential to go home, but it seems to be a step-by-step process. But yeah, I was thinking of, life here on planet Earth, life in bodies, with bodies, because I listened to some people sharing from near-death experiences. Yeah, really being beyond the body and then deciding to come back. And a lot of them decided to come back because they thought others need them, or it would be too painful for someone to experience that they die, because like one nurse had said to this person, I'm going to do all that I can. You're not going to die. I'm going to help you. And this person dies, and she really wants to be with God because it's much better. But she got a flash of this nurse's pain and anguish and guilt for saying, I'm going to make you live. So she comes back just for that reason. But it's so painful to come back to the body for most of them when they have seen heaven. I've actually had that experience myself without dying, but leaving the body and coming back, how kind of painful or hard it is to come back into this very small form. And then in this is our classroom to learn that we are one and forgive differences. It seems challenging because the whole purpose for the body is to be different, to be an individual. So I think today's lesson even can help us with this issue, this big issue of being an individual, of being controlling or defensive or isolated, all the things we experience in the body as bodies. But it's fantastic that we have such help to expand and transcend the small identity. And maybe we try once more here with today's lesson, which is lesson 126. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. Today's idea, completely alien to the ego and the thinking of the world, is crucial to the thought reversal that this course will bring about. So this idea, all that I give is given to myself, that is so alien to this world, is crucial to the thought reversal that this course is bringing about. If you believed this statement, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness, certainty of goal, and sure direction. You would understand the means by which salvation comes to you and would not hesitate to use it now. If you understood, if you believed this statement, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness. All that I give is given to myself. Let us consider what you do believe in place of this idea. It seems to you that other people are apart from you and able to behave in ways which have no bearing on your thoughts, nor yours on theirs. Therefore, your attitudes have no effect on them, we believe, and their appeals for help are not in any way related to your own. You further think that they can sin without affecting your perception of yourself, while you can judge their sin and yet remain apart from condemnation and at peace. Yeah, I think this is, quote, natural for us, if we believe we're humans, to think that others can think and behave apart from us and in ways that have no effect whatsoever on us. It's just what they do. It's just what they go through. That's a quick judgment by our separated mind. But he's saying no. He's like, no, this is not the way it is. All thoughts affect you. All thoughts are connected to who you are. There are no they. What they think and say and do is not cut off from you. Let's see how Jesus explains it. So you further think that they can sin without affecting your perception of yourself, while you can judge their sin and yet remain apart from condemnation and at peace. It's an interesting thought. That's what the judgmental mind does. It can judge sin. Or they fail, or they do something wrong. And this is condemnation. And the belief is it doesn't affect us. But it does. Deeply and clearly. It accepts us completely, actually. When you, quote, forgive their sin, there is no gain to you directly. You can give charity to one unworthy, merely to point out that you're better on a higher plane than he whom you forgive. This just sounds like a big ego. He has not yet earned your charitable tolerance, which you bestow on one unworthy of the gift, because his sins have lowered him beneath a true equality with you. He has no claim on your forgiveness. It holds out a gift to him, but hardly to yourself. Maybe we can recognize this in ourselves, this way of thinking. Maybe we have done this to somebody, or maybe it's so, quote, natural, so we're not even aware. But it would be helpful to see. Thus is forgiveness basically unsound, a charitable whim, benevolent yet undeserved, a gift bestowed at times, at other times withheld, unmerited. Withholding it is just.
Nor is it fair that you should suffer when it is withheld. The sin that you forgive is not your own. Someone apart from you committed it. And if you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, the gift is no more yours than was his sin.
It's good to dive into this, to really understand it. So yeah, this gift of forgiveness is bestowed at times and other times withheld. We can see that in our lives. The sin that you forgive is not your own. Someone apart from you committed it. And if you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, the gift is no more yours than was his sin. If you then are gracious unto him by giving him what he does not deserve, the gift is no more yours than was his sin. So it's not really a gift. If we believe we're better than someone and giving them what they don't really deserve, that's not really forgiveness. If this be true, forgiveness has no grounds on which to rest dependably and sure. It is an eccentricity in which you sometimes choose to give indulgently an undeserved reprieve. Yet it remains your right to let the sinner not escape the justified repayment for his sin. Think you the Lord of heaven would allow the world's salvation to depend on this? Would not his care for you be small indeed if your salvation rested on a whim? You do not understand forgiveness. As you see it, it is but a check upon overt attack without requiring correction in your mind. Yeah, I think we can recognize this. They're wrong. Nothing needs to be changed in me. But this is the whole error. We can only become happy by true forgiveness, by changing our mind about what we perceive, about whom God created. It cannot give you peace as you perceive it. It is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. It has no power to restore your unity with Him to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. This is not the way God intended forgiveness to be. Not having given Him the gift He asks of you, you cannot recognize His gifts and think He has not given them to you. Not having given Him the gift He asked of you, you cannot recognize His gifts and think He has not given them to you. So it starts with us not having given God the gift He asks from us. Yet would He ask you for a gift unless it was for you? Could He be satisfied with empty gestures and evaluate such petty gifts as worthy of His Son? Empty gestures. Yeah, I don't think God would see that is anything in that, in empty gestures. Salvation is a better gift than this, and true forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, must heal the mind that gives. Forgiving is receiving. True forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, must heal the mind that gives. Forgiving is receiving. So true forgiveness heals our own mind, not the other one, not the one we saw the error in. Isn't that beautiful? And then our perception is corrected. Our brother is just a reflection and will reflect back to us this gift we gave to God of true forgiveness. What remains as unreceived has not been given, but what has been given must have been received. What we truly give is received by ourselves. There's nobody out there that we are charitable towards, or better than. This is the mystical path of seeing our own mind in everyone and working through our stuff by being willing to give over our perception to God. Today we try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. You will need help to make this meaningful because it is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. But the help you need is there. Give Him your faith today and ask Him that He share your practicing in truth today. And if you only catch a tiny glimpse of the release that lies in the idea we practice for today, this is a day of glory for the world. So this is beautiful. The truth that giver and receiver are the same. So also in this documentary I saw about these near-death experiences, one person experienced that all people were himself, like all egos were just one ego. And all the pain in the world was just one pain. So in having those glimpses show us that giver and receiver are the same. That there is only one. There is one projector. And we need to find it. So today we try to understand that giver and receiver are the same. You will need help to make this meaningful because it's so alien to the thoughts to which you're accustomed. But the help is there. And if you can catch a tiny glimpse of the release that lies in the idea we practice for today, this is a day of glory to the whole world. Give 15 minutes twice today to the attempt at understanding today's idea. It is the thought by which forgiveness takes its proper place in your priorities. So this is a good point he's making. Let forgiveness take its proper place in your priorities. Prioritize this in your mind. In silence, close your eyes upon the world that does not understand forgiveness and seek sanctuary in the quiet place where thoughts are changed and false beliefs laid by. Okay, so there is a quiet place to go to where thoughts are changed. Sometimes I think we can feel like banging our head into a wall or something. Like we can feel like nothing is changing. There are no miracles, or hard to forgive something. But literally, this quiet place inside is where forgiveness happens. This is the place where minds can change and false beliefs can be laid by. Repeat today's idea. All that I give is given to myself. And ask for help in understanding what it really means. Be willing to be taught. Be willing to be taught. Be glad to hear the voice of truth and healing speak to you, and you will understand the words he speaks and recognize he speaks your words to you. That's beautiful. It's not some other big voice coming to you from the outside. It's your own voice. That's what you will recognize when you go within. It was you all along. As often as you can, remind yourself you have a goal today, an aim which makes this day of special value to yourself and all your brothers. Do not let your mind forget this goal for long, but tell yourself, all that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now. And I will trust in him. Then spend a quiet moment opening your mind to his correction and his love. And what you hear of him, you will believe, for what he gives will be received by you. Beautiful. So that's very confident. Jesus is really saying that when we go within, this is what happens. You will receive what God gives. And you will believe what you hear. So maybe we spend this quiet moment now within, even though we are here in this group together seemingly. This is actually the purpose, is to go within, find peace, forgive whatever we have not forgiven, whoever we have not forgiven, whoever we wronged. Jesus says, when you've changed your mind about those whom your ego has hurt, and you will come to peace. We don't need to fight anymore on planet Earth for control or survival of an ego. We can live in a surrendered state. We can go within now and just take another look at whatever is still unforgiven. And the words he said we should say. All that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me right now. So who do we need to give forgiveness to? What did we misperceive? And how would we love them if we knew they were us? And Jesus says this in This Need Not Be. When you feel guilty, remember that the ego has indeed violated the laws of God, but you have not. Leave the sins of the ego to me. That is what atonement is for. But until you change your mind about those whom your ego has hurt, the atonement cannot release you. Until you change your mind about those whom your ego has hurt, the atonement cannot release you. While you feel guilty, your ego is in command, because only the ego can experience guilt. This need not be. Guilt is never justified. So this is why we need to go deep within to find out our innocence, to change our mind about those whom our ego has hurt. And this we can do. This is the only thing we can really, truly do. Everything else we're doing is just meaningless, pretty much. But this we can truly accomplish. And only with the Holy Spirit. It's not really our own effort. It is by going within and releasing every effort. Giving over the guilty thoughts and the people that our ego has hurt. And remember that you're not the ego. When you feel ready, you can come out of this meditation. You can open up for sharing if there is something on your mind you want to explore tonight.
Having a really rough few days, like really just terrified. Ego just screaming in my head, "You're the devil! You're the devil! You did it! You made the devil! You are the devil! Look at the course. It says you made hell." I think it's coming up right now because I don't really believe that. I did for a long time in my life, a very, very, very long time. And I didn't realize how I had stuffed it down so far, but it was always kind of there, and I always did my hair nice and did my makeup nice and made sure that I was always presentable when I went out in public so that no one would find out that I ruined the gift that God gave me of being Christ. But I do feel that it's coming out now because I don't believe it like I used to at all. Not at all. It's very loose, very, very loose belief. But it's just like, just the ego is just kicking my ass right now. And I'm trying to just allow it and not change it or ask the Holy Spirit. And yeah, and I just felt to expose it. Just to expose it.
Yeah, joining. The joining
Yeah.
is so helpful. Just to share this, yeah. Because like you say, it's not true.
It's not true for anybody. It's not true for anyone. I can't really, I was reading the course, but it was so through the ego's filter that it was just like screaming at me still. Yeah, I don't really know how to spend my time at this moment. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I spent 3 days of just like I said, just like being terrified, but reaching out. Everybody in this house has been so kind and supportive. Poor one of the dog that lives here disappeared too, just right before that. So that's going on in the house as well. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think some things you're just going through. You need to just go through these passages. Like you are the prayer. You are the prayer. You're not the devil. You are the prayer. And you're facing this belief, the darkness.
And I think that's um something that I'm having a hard time forgiving is just whatever decision I made. But I can't remember that led to this nightmare. I think I'm having a hard time forgiving myself for whatever that was. And I really
Mhm.
want to.
Mhm. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And what we've heard about the other side, when you have forgiven that decision, you're going to see that it actually never had happened, you know.
Starting to understand that. Oh, that decision really had no effect whatsoever. It just,
Right. But it sure seemed to have very huge consequences.
yeah. I always used to wonder why this would take so long, but it's really actually quite beautiful. Like I don't know, undoing the layers because there's there's just no other way. There's just no other way. Yeah.
Right. There's nothing else to do.
No, no.
When you ask what you should do, I mean, you are actually doing what you should do.
Oh, okay. Oh, I used to always wonder how is this ever going to end in laughter, but you know what? I'm starting to get little glimmers of it. Just like I don't know what it is that makes me giggle, but just it's just becoming funnier.
Yeah.
When Jesus talks about the tiny mad idea, he says that you remembered not to laugh. You forgot to laugh at it. And that's the whole problem. That's all you can really do is just laugh.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, that was good. Okay, thank you very much, as always.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Hmm.
Okay, who else has something on your heart? Don't hold back here.
I'm interested in what your take is on the idea that in the Course, it says things like, there are no laws but the laws of God. And, I hear various teachers say things, sort of dismiss, maybe everything they learned before in college. And I understand it up to a point, but are they saying that all the laws of, like, principles of science and engineering, how can they say that? I mean, that's not real. Are they just saying that? I mean, I also understand that quantum physics is different than Newtonian physics, and they apply differently in different contexts. But it's also associated with a tendency to bypass. You just kind of ignore try to be spiritual and ignore I mean, if there's no.
Is it possible, Patrick?
Yeah, what?
Is it possible to bypass?
Is it possible
If you would try to bypass, yeah. If you would try to bypass everything you believe about physics, everything you learned of engineering,
is it
physics,
possible?
Yeah. Is it possible to bypass?
I'm not sure I understand the question. And we live
Maybe I can share an experience that I had.
Okay.
It's all about experience. The spiritual is all about an experience. I'm under no laws but God's. You can't just say that and think that you're going to experience that. It is an experience. And if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. You can't have both. It is true. You can't be under the world's laws and under God's laws. Because if you're under God's laws, the world is not real. You will see it as a dream. So an experience I had was like this. I was in a very, very high state of mind for a longer time. Very in the light. I was the spirit. I actually I wasn't aware of the world of form. It was there. I still slept in a bed. I woke up, I ate, I talked, but my experience was beyond. It was as if it wasn't really there. It was super beautiful and high and real. And the world wasn't real. And in that high state, I said, well, let's invite whatever is not true in my mind up for healing. So I did make that prayer. And so one day, I had this weird feeling of like something very suspicious in my mind, something very insidious, I think is a good word for it. Insidious feeling, energy came up. I didn't like it, but it was like from the depths of me, from, maybe lifetimes of believing in being a human being, believing in the world form came. And in a triumphant way, it came up. It said, I know this world is real because I can touch the table. I can see the table. At the time I was with David, and I said to David, I know the table is real because I can see it and I can touch it. And it was this insidious, triumphant energy of the ego being right, Maybe your irritability you're feeling at these high ideas, maybe it was a bit like that, irritability or righteousness. There. Jesus says you don't deny the belief in the body. That's not helpful to deny what you actually believe. That's why I asked that,
Can you bypass?
Can you bypass what you believe? I'd say you can't, but you can acknowledge what you believe. And I think maybe in our humble ways, you can ask the Holy Spirit to undo it or to use it, or, ask what to do with it, with the knowledge that you have. But yeah, David answered me when I
Mhm.
spoke to him about the table. He said it's a matter of time.
It's a matter
And I
of
thought,
time.
what does that mean? And I thought, oh, yeah, a matter of time. Yeah, it is matter of time. Okay, it's made up from the belief in time. And it's also a matter of time until I am fully realized, until I have released the world. It's actually a matter of desire. And yeah, the intellect can be a block or a defense, but it's not impossible to overcome it. It's just, if there is fear in the mind, the ego can use the intellect to block us from experiencing the truth. But the best you can do is to ask the Spirit to use the intellect, to pray for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting the general point. What about the idea that I think you said the ego has violated the laws of God? And yeah, that's a little confusing. I mean,
Yeah, it has, but you have not.
but I have, yeah, but you have not.
That's what he says. Yeah.
That's the good news.
Yeah, because he wants you to realize you're not the ego.
I guess, but just the part about that the ego has, I mean, so that just means the ego is sort of an imaginary reality, right? So it appears to violate the laws of God in the dream or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So it hasn't in reality, but you can tell from your experience that it has. In your experience, the ego has violated the laws of God
Mm-hmm.
and brought you a hell at times. It's not always bad. That's the part of the ego's plan, that it's kind of good sometimes.
Mm.
And it strives to have it quite good, but the good that the ego makes, it cannot last, and it always has undertones of bad or guilt.
Okay, I'm going to put my ego to sleep now.
Yeah, you can let it go. Yeah, but it's helpful to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
It's very healing to be allowing.
The questions kind of drift away after a while, so it's okay to, like Mari said, it's okay to be quiet also.
Yeah, because the ego's questions can be a block or a distraction or an excuse to not go deeper.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking of my experience when I met the higher beings. They answered all my questions. But it wasn't like that they were different from me. And that experience was real. And this experience in the timeline was not. That was one of the things I experienced. The ego is not real. This world is not real. It's a dream. That's why we have huge potential to look at the dream and transcend it, heal, wake up from it. Huge potential. Actually, that's the greatest potential we have. We have a huge, incredibly powerful mind. God's mind. It's the mind we used to miscreate, the ego used, but we have access to the truth. So if we give it a chance, we can have some deeply mystical experiences. I was very determined, so I did have some like that. Probably my mind was ready, both ready and willing. So it is a matter of readiness. So don't be tough on yourself if you haven't had any mystical experiences. Okay, do we have anybody else that wanted to share? Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to share, Solveig. Where are you at? Do you want to speak? Or?
I don't know. I think maybe just to. I feel very tired right now, and I think this afternoon I've definitely gone into some old pattern around the specialness with Peter and being together. Not the whole time, but I could see there was this. Felt like almost slipping into it, this pattern sometimes, and as soon as I do that, I can see I go into form and try to fix things so everyone is happy and everybody's needs are met or something, and then I forget my own, and I could see at some point I just probably just wanted to rest, and I didn't, and then I just feel very tired at some point.
Do you want to release that pattern?
Yes. Yes.
That's good. Then you have the opportunity, you can go and rest. The ego will have many explanations of why you shouldn't. She's come all the way from Denmark. She's visiting only for a short time. You should always be there. You should always be available. But no, the time of rest, like I said, it is a mystical path, and you do need space to go within, to do the forgiveness and the release, so that you can be clear and join for real.
Yeah, and it was not actually just with her, it was with Peter too. It was this, just even having like things that I thought should be done, and then not feeling like it and have a lot of guilt up. And I could see it's the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's clean or if it's Peter, it's the same feeling with me. It's the same pattern, it's the same thing I go into trying to fix it somehow.
Well, it's very helpful that you're seeing this, and that you see that you don't want to see it. You want to numb yourself out. You want to ignore the prompt to rest. Give yourself space to allow the healing. Even if it doesn't seem like socially okay, still do it. Still take the space you need.
We talked about reading the lesson together and maybe meditate, and then somehow it didn't happen. Things happening, someone came with dogs and visited us, and then I had this huge guilt up. Like we talked about putting something more on the Facebook around house sitting, and like this, oh, we need to do that now, and I just, it's the same things happening. Like suddenly the time is not there, and I'm so stressed.
And maybe that's ego using your mind in those moments when you get frantic about it, and you think it must happen in that moment. Also that to know you cannot control and change the past. You have no control over what happened when the visitors came and the plans seemed to change. All you can do with that is to forgive and start from point zero again. Don't let ego guilt take it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Jesus says that I have no control over the world I made. That is very helpful. I have no control over the world I made. That's a beautiful line. It's a beautiful truth to be with. I have no control over the past. I have control over the direction of my thoughts.
And that's always now.
Yeah, it's always now. Yeah. So happy feeling.
Thank you. Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah. Thank you too. Love you. Okay. Any more shares? Yeah, there's another one.
I just have a question, actually. What documentary did you watch about the near-death experiences?
Yeah, it was actually quite interesting. It was called Death and Back 2.
Death
Part
and Back.
2. Yeah.
Okay.
It's available on YouTube. Yeah.
Death and Back 2. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. And to everyone, just only watch it if you're guided. You may not be guided for everybody. You feel it. Does anyone else sit with something you're feeling to bring up? We're together in this all the way home. The lesson comes to mind. In this situation, there is nothing my holiness can do. There's nothing my holiness cannot do. Maybe this is for somebody. You have a situation, prayer, you say, in this situation, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. Well, maybe we just meditate a little bit together here at the end. The Holy Spirit, the Spirit wants to change our minds, wants to bring in the light. We can release all our thoughts again, the thoughts from this meeting, and anything. Any thoughts about people or what to do next, or just take a moment and experience this openness of mind. Have a nice evening, everyone. Love you all.
Mm.